So let me just switch everything up, and our players should already be able to see us, hopefully. Wait, they've changed the layout a little bit. How do I make it full screen now? Oh, there we go. Hey everyone, welcome to the live stream. If you can see us, please make sure you let us know. Go full screen, please.
Hi.
Yeah. So let me just bring up the live stream on my phone so I can see all the comments. Yeah, so it looks live, everything looks pretty good. But otherwise, guys, let us know in the comments if you can, if everything is good with the sound and the video quality. Hopefully it is. Yeah, hi Johnny, by the way. Yeah, you can see us, but can you hear us? That is the most important thing, because, you know...
Sorry about being a bit late.
No, it's okay, it's okay. How's everyone doing today?
Very good, yeah, they've got some fine, it's nice weather, certainly can't complain.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's been quite a long time coming, but it does feel like it's just starting to warm up a little bit.
Johnny, have you got any track days planned for the nice weather? I know last time you went on some.
No, I know there's a few Hutch people heading off to Brands Hatch on Monday, the day, but I couldn't make it, unfortunately. So the next one's up to Bedford on the early August, I think, back up to Bedford. So should be good. Hopefully the weather will still be. The last time we went up there was completely washed out, so hopefully this one will be nicer.
Yeah, those are pretty funny photos you were sending from that time.
It was just so. I mean, the start-finish line was basically a shallow river.
You just needed some standard tires. That's all.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome everyone to live stream. I've just got a confirmation that our viewers can see us and hear us pretty clearly, so that we're good to start. So hi again, Will, Tim, and Johnny. Nice to see you, and thank you very much for coming along and being part of this live stream. So this is the July Q&A. Can't believe this is July already. Yeah, it feels like these months just go by so quickly with those live streams. But we have, as usual, a very a good selection of questions, and as always, the 5 first questions that we will answer, their authors, they will receive a carbon fiber pack awarded to their account. And because these questions were all picked from Katie Play, I already know your user IDs, so you don't need to do anything. I will just award you the packs as soon, maybe later today, maybe early tomorrow, so don't worry about it. But I have went for all the questions that you guys have had, and I've approached it slightly differently this time, in the sense that some of you have mentioned that we are answering questions that are not very, not something that you want to hear. Maybe you want answers to the questions that are more complicated, generally speaking, something is more relevant, because sometimes we talk about just what's each other's favorite cars, and it's not exactly some things that you guys want to hear. So I took a different approach, and as per your request, I have picked 5 questions that had the most likes on Katie Play. So it's a bit of something that is pretty unusual for me, but I wanted to do it to just show that we do not always pick questions that are only comfortable to us. We want to answer the questions that are important to you. And this is what we're doing this time, and hopefully this will help you to understand what's going on. And
you know how it's going to go though, right? They'll be the questions that are also the hardest to answer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And some of these questions, the way they're formed, are a little bit, I guess, aggressive to a certain extent, but I don't want you to feel like, we don't appreciate what you're asking, even though it might sound a little bit aggressive, but it happens, you're asking questions that are important for you. So the very first question comes from a user called CredT, and congrats on winning your carbon fiber pack. I didn't really count the number of likes, but this one had around 20, if I'm not mistaken. And it's not even just not even a question. It's a statement. Roadmap Hutch. Give it So give it to us like a professional company. You're supposed to be. Enough of this more than half-year-long silence. So yeah, you can see where I'm starting. Actually, I have a pretty long answer prepared for you, and hopefully this will clarify something for you. So first of all, I want to say thank you for the question. It is an important one, and we have actually given you roadmaps. So in the past year, there have been 2 roadmaps, one in June last year and one in February of this year. And I appreciate that either of these roadmaps might not be as detailed, but they actually are pretty explanatory for what we're working on right now. They give a very good idea, and we haven't really moved very much away from those roadmaps. But still, I want to go back to them. I will go through everything that has been said in the previous roadmap, and I will give you an update on what work has been done on those, and then we will talk about also some other things that we're currently working on and what we're expecting in the next, let's say, couple of months. There will also be things that I will mention that sort of extend into the future, and that is not necessarily coming very soon, but it is still very much on our radar. And so I will read this out to you. So we've given a roadmap in February, and while it mostly stands, I will give you an update based on the points we've had there. So first thing we've mentioned was flexible criteria. And as you know, this has been released. It is one of the things we mentioned previously, and it's been introduced into the game a few months ago, and we have seen some great success with this. There are some minor issues, of course. For example, we have an issue with the fuse filter not working precisely how we want. But other than that, it works. Everything is working as intended, and we have seen some great feedback from you, our players, as well about this. So next point in that roadmap from February was the UX and UI, which is user interface. So we've mentioned this on numerous occasions, and we've done some good progress on those. As you know, we have A/B tested 2 versions of the UI in the past months, and some of you have seen them in the game already, especially some cohorts of players at least, not everyone. It's not as a straightforward of a task as some other tasks might be. It's pretty much a complete overhaul of the game and how it looks. So it will take more time. And we will continue working on this in the coming months, but at the moment we're not expecting a release this year, this side of Christmas, just to be completely clear. This is not something that is coming immediately soon, but yeah, not this side of Christmas at least. We also mentioned 3D environments, and Robin actually shared a little sneak peek, like a video, a week or so ago on Discord, where he showed the new 3D environment with some excellent, interesting sounds. So this again this continues as it stands. We are actually quite, I think, close to the stage where we are ready to A/B test those. So it's coming along pretty well. But as with the UI, with the user interface, this is not something that is coming very, very soon yet. I wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't expect the full rollout this year still. Yeah, so this is pretty much all it was in the original roadmap. So I will give you a little bit of a, maybe not a sneak peek, but just an update on the things that we have also mentioned in the last Q&A in June. One of them is the wishlist feature. So the work on it is still ongoing, but it's actually pretty close to release. It should be making its way into the game very soon. This will allow you to wishlist a car, filter to see what cars you currently have wishlisted, remove a car from being wishlisted, and be notified when you won a wishlisted car. It will remain wishlisted until you move it from the holding pool into your garage. We're also bringing in next thing, by the way, so that was about the wishlist. Next thing we mentioned as well were the dynamic packs. This is coming along quite soon as well. So this will. These packs, they will have bespoke art, and they will basically allow us to quickly create any packs we need and not be limited by the packs we already have in the game. And you might have seen that we have sometimes this problem where we cannot exactly offer you the packs that you need for specific events with the Tri-Series. It's always something, so these packs will be around those requirements, but not always exactly that. So we want to resolve this by bringing these packs into the game. And by the way, if any of you guys want to stop me at any point and say, wait, this is not exactly right, make sure you do, because I can ramble as long as I want.
Sounds about right.
And finally, we are bringing more updates to challenges. So we have a next stage of improvements to challenges. Well, specifically, this improvement that we want to bring next is related to replayability of certain of rounds in the challenge. So we want you to be able to replay the rounds in the challenge. So all these features that I've mentioned, the improvements to the challenge, wish list, and new packs, this is like next thing basically. I'm not going to be talking about the next big car update in this specific section. We have a question dedicated to that. But I just wanted to let you know about the things that are coming soon into the game. Final thing, this is not really for everyone, it depends on where you're from. If you're a US user, that might be interesting to you. But Top Drives will soon release on Facebook Cloud Gaming, allowing you to play from a browser that supports Facebook
if you're in America.
Yeah, in America.
The US.
And so this will basically allow you to play either through the Facebook app, or if you log into the browser from any device that supports the browser that supports Facebook, you will be able to play Top Drives from that as well. And we're quite excited about this because Facebook this is a new platform for Facebook, cloud gaming, and they have trusted us with bringing our game onto their platform. So this should be coming very soon as well. But as I said, there are certain sort of limiting factors. First of all, it being a US only service, and it's not particularly yet available on iOS native app, but there are some workarounds, but we can talk about it later when the time comes. So that
the Facebook service that they're offering for these games is only in the US. That's why it's there. It's the limitation of how they have rolled out.
Yeah.
I expect that as they find it working, they'll roll it out to other countries, and then version Top Drives will be in other countries too.
Yeah. So some people are asking, why is it only USA? This is nothing to do with us. This is Facebook. They decide. It's only available in US. There are, I think, around 25 games that are currently available on Facebook Cloud Gaming. This is only US. This has nothing to do with us. This is just them deciding.
Obviously, our hope is that it goes down well and the service gets rolled out to many more territories.
Yeah. So that pretty much wraps up the first section. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to write this up and post it on the forums just in case, because I think that quite a few people will just miss this, and this is what probably creates this maybe understand or feeling that we're not talking a lot. But we do these live streams every month, and we talk about features that are coming. So there's obviously some sort of a mistake on our side if you feel that you're not getting the right information. So therefore, some kind of a write-up might be useful for this purpose. So that was question number one. That was the biggest question number one we've ever had, I think. But thank you, Credty, for being straightforward with your question, and enjoy your carbon fiber pack. I'll get something to drink, but there's only alcohol hand gel in here, so I'm not drinking that. So question number two comes from a user ID 599111891, and it's another question from similar area. So, hi Hutch team, I only have one question that may be of interest for all of us. There are always rumors that the game is dead and will not continue. Can you please give us a heads up and share at least a small roadmap? So in terms of a small roadmap, there are things that I have described in the previous question, in my previous answer to the previous question. As I said, I will maybe do a little write-up to make sure you guys are all aware of what I've said. But I want to make it very clear that there are no plans to discontinue Top Drives at all. Quite the opposite, where the long-term tasks that we're working on currently are aimed at future-proofing the game. And all these things I've mentioned. First of all, that includes the improved UI. Some of you may have experienced different versions of the new UI that we have sent to different cohorts of players. This new UI we've been testing in the past months, and this work continues, and it's a big thing. The current UI is almost 4 years old, and to a certain extent it's limiting to the new features that we could implement into the game. So we have to bring that in to make sure that we can bring new features into the game in the future. Repeating myself. We're also working on upgrading our 3D environments to improve fidelity and feel of the game. This includes potential changes to the sounds, as well as would like to bring more. This includes potential changes to the sounds, and we would also like to bring over more unique engine sounds that better correspond to how the car sounds in the game. So I've mentioned this little sneak peek on Discord that Robin has posted. I've only seen it once, might need some time to dig it, but it actually demonstrates pretty well how the new environment works with the new sounds. It is pretty damn good. So yeah, this again, this is basically Top Drive 2, you can say. So to a certain extent, there's no need to create a new game when yours has all the tools for you to expand on it and make it better and better and better consistently. So the game is not going anyway. But also to add to that, we continue hiring and expanding the team. We have recently added a product manager who is helping us shape future updates and decide which features should be included in the updates. So again, this another proof that the game is not going anywhere. It is staying. Johnny, please reassure them that it is staying. It's not going anywhere.
No, it's definitely staying. It was. I'm sure. I think I've said. Yeah, I think I probably said it. Maybe shows a while ago, but you know, there was always this goal to build up this. You know, we're building up this collection of this kind of incredible collection of cars that that's growing and getting more diverse and more complete, and it's just there is. I know a lot of people probably want to see this stuff, sooner rather than later, but there is so much more we can do with a collection of cars in that way with that depth of stats. So we are only, we feel like we're only, wouldn't say just getting started, because it's, I think it's been out a while, but yeah, lots more to do.
So yeah, thank you very much. ID 529911 and 891. Congrats on your carbon fiber pack, and thank you for your concerns. We're not discontinuing the game. Top Drives will live. Next question, another highly liked question from KT Play forums from a user DVI code. I apologize if I mispronounce this, but there are many ways you could read that potentially. So the question is very simple. When is the next update coming? And as usual, we cannot give you any specific dates, but we are expecting a release soon.
Soon means different things to different people.
But no, seriously, we believe it's reasonable to assume will be before the end of summer, and that you should bear in mind all the things that I have mentioned before, and I will talk about this a little bit more in the next segment. But I've talked about the new pack system, additions to the challenges, and yes, that bring replayability of rounds, and the car wishlist feature. These are all coming very, very soon, so you should be expecting them very soon. In addition to, of course, the car update. So
just got to jump in quickly. That actually, Will and I was it just a couple of days ago. Will and I were doing an image, the photo review, the new update, and it's just so. I was about to say, it's amazing. There's a car that looks like something, and then I said, that would probably give it away, so I'm not going to mention that. But no, honestly, the spread is from kind of low RQ up to high is brilliant in it. So much variety. I know people just want to see the update. It's not, they don't want me just to say that it's great, but the fact that we're reviewing photos means that it's progressing. Wow.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a really sort of there's a broad range of cars, but there's also within it, I think there's going to be some real kind of nerdy updates that some people are going to spot some cars that they really, really like as well within them. That there's there's going to be that kind of breadth within it as well. There's some absolutely sort of cool cars that everyone's going to like, but then there's also going to be hopefully ones that really sort of that certain aspects are going to find really really appealing and stuff like that. And the amount of what I've been working on over the past just like quite a while is the accuracy of the cars within the game as well. So hopefully when when the update does come, which will be relatively soon, that all the cars that are in there will not only be exciting, but they will also be really, really accurate in their performance figures and everything else to do with them as well. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, we've been through these swings before as well, right? We know we're going to swing from the moment where people are going, why didn't you just hurry up and get the update out? And then it'll come out, and people will be saying, why didn't you take longer and get these stats right? So to those people, there's this bit happening now.
Was it something like 600 corrections in the past couple of weeks or something?
Yeah, there was the base data, right, that we start with, that we go, okay, here's what they are, and now let's just check if it's right.
Yeah, and I think we've got somewhere around about, I think there's 600 or so documented, corrections, and some of them are to sort of make sure that the cars that are in the game sort of correspond well with the cars that are being introduced. So there's a combination of all sorts. But yeah, there's been lots and lots of a very, very thorough look at all the cars coming in.
Yeah, but don't forget, guys, that the things I've also mentioned, the wish list and the challenges. This is also coming relatively around the same time, so there's quite a lot to digest over there when it all does come out. So, great question, and obviously this is something everyone was asking. So hopefully we gave you a bit of an idea of when you can expect the next update. So again, DVI code, nice one, and congrats on your CF pack. So next question is, so we have two questions left in the main sort of segment. One of them is from user called Assistic, and they're asking about adding account stats to look at. For example, lifetime money earned, total CF packs opened, legends earned from carbon fibers, etc., etc. Because as they're saying, it will be a nice thing to compare at the forums. However, I can tell you that there is nothing currently in development right now of this type, nothing at all, and I wouldn't be expecting it anytime soon. We're currently focused on the tasks that are aimed at extending the game's lifespan, so there is a little bit less focus on quality of life features at the moment. But since I've started working on the quality of life features, I can mention the progress on some of the quality of life features we've mentioned in the previous Q&A. So the wish list, as I said, it's in development, but we also have, it's close to release, but we also have plans for bringing in the reduced gold cost for upgrade and allowing locking cars in the select screen. And I know we've talked about it in the previous Q&A, but things have slightly changed. Unfortunately, we're down a few people on the team due to various reasons, medical including. So so the progress is a bit slow on that, and there is a certain number of tasks they need to complete before they can move on to those quality of life features that I've just mentioned. But this is something that is high on our priority lists, just to be completely clear. But it may take a bit longer than we expected internally for the reasons I've mentioned. But overall, answering the original question, as I did at the beginning, no, we're not developing anything to do with the account stats at the moment, and I wouldn't be expecting it anytime soon.
I'd just jump in and just acknowledge the fact that actually it is a great idea. It's a shame, like you say, we're not doing anything, and it's just, but it is an interesting idea. It feels like, both kind of account stats and just even garage. I've always wanted garage stat kind of.
I would maybe even expand on that to say that this also relates to various filters that you guys are suggesting. We know that there are quite a few filters that drop trays would benefit from, but there's nothing in development right now. I want to be completely clear about all of this. But yeah, I agree. Some of these, maybe not all of these, but some of them could be included definitely to be able to compare with each other. That would be pretty cool. And final question from our favorite user, Henry. And Henry is asking about the accidental pack ticket buy with gold. So basically, also the accidental pack ticket purchasing with gold is clearly more than a one-off problem for many people, Henry included. And are there any plans to fix this? Having the buy button in the same place as the proceed raise button on the next screen is always going to be an issue, even more so with the current lags in the game. So there's nothing in development. Again, I'll be completely straight with you, but I would also say we do not believe this issue to be sort of easily resolvable. There are a few considerations that we have in terms of adding this into the game. So I don't feel this would be coming anytime soon. A pretty straightforward answer, but this is mentioned. This is one of the most mentioned features from the past month. So I wanted to make it clear that we're not currently developing any for it, and we will not be. It's low on the priority list, although it is in the feature list. So that sort of wraps up the first part. We have answered 5 questions. Hopefully this gives you a bit of an idea of what's coming to Top Drives in the following months. And Henry, of course, CF Pack is yours. So, do we have any questions from the comment section that we might be able to answer before we move to the sort of light-hearted car industry-related questions that we all enjoy and love?
Are we the whole Top Drives team? No, not at all. There's much more. How many more are there? I can't remember.
There must be sort of 18 to 20, sort of 18 more. I don't. It's a fun. Our industry is funny. You can't. There's some very, very successful games out there that have tiny sort of 1, 2, 3 person teams, and then there's the the massive companies with sort of 70, 80 people, or even into the hundreds on teams. So it's not not completely crazy that we actually, sorry, it is. Well, I was going to say that we could be powering the whole Top Drives, but the Top Drives has got quite a lot of complexity and systems and aspects to it that needs quite a few people.
Yeah. I would also say that some team members like Tim and Journey and Will, I guess to some extent, you guys are not only on Top Drives, right? You do other things. So it's on me who's just on Top Drives. And Phil James 1 is asking about why is he getting 5 errors a day, about 3 times a week. That's pretty specific, but James, like honestly, you should get in touch with our customer support. They should be able to address this for you and hopefully be able to help you. Speaking of customer support, we are moving into the next segment, which involves just other questions that are not part of the main segment. So unfortunately, you're not getting a CF pack this time, but there are some pretty good questions in there. And one of them relates to the customer support, and I've seen this mentioned a couple of times, and I wanted to clarify a few things for you guys, especially when it comes to response times. So the question is, are you planning to improve the customer service quality in the future? So there's basically, and they're saying that for them the main problem is that they have to wait sometimes 3-4 days to get a response. So the answer is this: we're not always able to meet the response times we aim for. Sometimes we're more or less within parameters, but often if there is a particular surge of contact or an issue in game that causes lots of issues or something similar, sometimes we will come back from a weekend, for example, and there's a accumulation of issues over the weekend, and it takes longer to respond to those tickets. So we don't always simply have the capacity to follow our guidelines very, very strictly, although we do strive to do so. And as I said, on the weekends, the support capacity is reduced, not gone, it's reduced. So it always inevitably causes a bit of a delay there. We appreciate this isn't an ideal scenario, and we are in the process of working towards a better solution, both by improving our capacity, manpower, and by streamlining various systems. So in a very real way, support response times should improve in the future, but there is no guarantee on a time frame for that. When things are behind, we do try to get through everything as quickly as possible. We mostly work from oldest to youngest, but there are certain specific issues that we try to prioritize. This means they should be reassured that not receiving a response, the author of this question, you should be reassured that not receiving a response doesn't mean you're not going to receive a response. No one will ever just not get a reply. In the meantime, as we continue to improve capacity, we're grateful for your patience. And just to add to that, we do really try to make sure we respond to everyone as quickly as possible, but we get hundreds and hundreds of tickets every day. And sometimes people are asking us whether we like pizza, and this kind of also slows down the process. But please be patient with us. We try to make sure we give you the best customer support quality, and we often hear actually from players saying that we're doing a great job at that. And I personally believe from my experience, seeing how support teams work, ours works really well. I'm biased, but I've worked in other games and I've seen how support works there, and I feel our support team members are extremely detailed in their responses and respectful, and they try to answer your questions as quickly as possible. But again, there's room for improvement always, and we will try to make sure we can cover this. Gosh, it's just me talking. Anyone wants to take any of the questions? There's a question from Andre, I think. If you guys see on line 12 about the possibility of changing the pictures of cars. There is a response written then, but if anyone wants to take this, I can do that. Maybe Johnny, I thought maybe this could be interesting for you to address.
Yeah, so we definitely have thought about it. The photos are they're an interesting thing. We don't always get maybe the kind of the perfect photo that we want. I think particularly of sort of the higher end cars, you almost want the perfect photo for all of those, and you don't always we get some good photos to do with kind of options, but the top drive cars have a kind of unique layout and sort of criteria for them. So that makes it kind of not always straightforward to have kind of multiple versions, and obviously every photo that goes into the game needs to be licensed. So that kind of adds to the overhead a little bit, and then also there is just there's the size of the game basically on device. If we significantly ramp up the kind of photo options, it's you are then sort of doubling, tripling the kind of photo memory overhead, and that's not an insignificant part of the kind of the overall size of top drive. So there's a few practical constraints, but I think one idea that is actually sort of has been bubbling away for a little while, but is look, if I could imagine it makes the definite list and starts getting worked on, is the idea of kind of special editions. And it's a common concept in other collectible card games that you can have potentially the same card, like a special edition version of it, and I think that would be a great opportunity to bring different imagery, different photo options into the mix. So it's in short, it is something that we talk about quite a lot, because it feels like a obvious thing for drives to look at.
Yeah, I would also mention why it's a good question about pictures, and I do appreciate that maybe some people don't love all of them, but it's not such a straightforward to just take any picture you find on Google and just put it into the game. Like every single picture you see on Google was taken by someone, and that someone owes rights to these pictures. So whenever you're actually creating a custom card in your Discord competition or something like that, that's actually illegal most of the time, because you're using someone else's card photo that you don't own any rights to, unless you've of course taken this photo from a sort of public domain. So that's why we cannot hold any contests with custom cards, because we would just have people sending us cards with photos that are not licensed, that they don't own. Every single photo must be licensed, and bringing extra photos means they need to be licensed as well. So, but yes, the idea of bringing special editions, that's very prevalent in sort of car games similar to Top Drive. So that's something we're definitely exploring.
It's an interesting area, because it's not, with other car games that have 3D models of cars, customization is quite a big thing. So you can change the color, change the wheels, kind of update other features. We obviously don't really, that concept doesn't really exist in Hutch, but in some ways the image is almost our equivalent. So I mean that's another there's nothing in development, but another way that we could look at it in the future is that in terms of customizing a car, it's actually you are actually kind of selecting from a variety of features there. Until you find the one that you like.
Yeah. One more question about and I'm sure some of you will be better prepared to answer this. Well, it's a simple question, but when will the next Hutch game come? And we do have one.
We do, yeah. We launched a game called Puzzle Heist earlier in the year, which is a very different title for us. We have typically been in the kind of the more obvious kind of car and racing space, and Puzzle Heist is a match 3 puzzle RPG that kind of mixes sort of characters and cars in a kind of action setting. So that came out earlier in the year, and we are in terms of I wouldn't say I don't there's nothing else. There's nothing else on the horizon in terms of kind of brand new from Hutch. I would say that almost kind of reinforces that question. I know we keep kind of probably answering that about 5 times now, but in terms of kind of what is Top Drive going to be stopped or something like that. I mean, really, what we as a business operating in the mobile game space, we are looking. The thing that we want more than anything else are games that can exist for years. And we talk a lot about games as a service. We are we want to provide an ongoing sort of, source of digital entertainment for people. So while we've got some smaller teams kind of looking at new ideas. Really, the biggest focus is on building the existing games and seeing where we can take them.
Yeah, so check out Puzzle Heist, but also check out F1 Clash, and check out all habits die hard, yeah, and check out Rumble Racing. These are all our 4 games that we all love and play. One interesting question I have, actually no, I've seen, I think Kevin asked this, any update on the Yellowbird? So actually I've not really researched this question for this specific Q&A. The last sort of information I have is that all of our tech is ready, this just needs to be designed. And as you guys know, we've just released Call of the Wild, which contains 140 rounds, which is by far the biggest collection series we've done. And it took a while to design. So yes, Yellowbird or whatever, whichever the next championship might be, it's not yet being designed as far as I'm aware, but it's ready to be designed. Let's put it this way. But that is I have to clarify this. I think that my information is probably from 3 weeks ago or so. So it might not be exactly accurate. So sorry if that's not the case, but I wanted to mention this anyway, that it needs to be designed still. What else? Do we have anything interesting in the comment section?
People answering each other. It's very good.
Yeah.
Why are these the finals requirements? It's not started yet, so they're not finals requirements. I'm sure it's not real until it's started.
Interesting question I found. Is there, Johnny, I guess you would know that. Is there any sort of technical limit to the number of cars that can be added into the game, or a single manufacturer can have? Is that technical, or maybe something you mentioned, the game size? Maybe that matters.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, at some point we would run into limitations. I would probably need somebody from the programming team to confirm what the actual maximum is. But there's certainly nothing that we built in sort of by design to limit the numbers. We still, I think we've talked about it before. We have some strange little quirks, in that every manufacturer has to have at least one prize car set, which is a legacy thing in top drives. So there's still a few little kind of technical constraints that do exist. But no, I think we can. nowhere near.
I did hear some discussion that there's sort of performance limits to the way we've done it, but if we get too big for that, it's like, okay, we need to re-architecture how the game works and have this work in a slightly different way. So we'll solve that problem when we come to it.
Okay, so I think this is it. We have answered about 5 main questions and some smaller ones as well. So we're gonna wrap this up for now. I hope this was useful for you guys. We've talked about the next update. We've talked about the potential roadmap and the quality of life features that are coming to Top Tries soon. So as I said, I will write something up and share with the community a bit later, based on the responses that we've given here today. But otherwise, thank you very much, Will, Tim, and John, for coming along once again. I'm sure I will see you in the next showcase episode, which I think we are planning to review the next Call of the Wild prize cards, right? So that's going to be pretty interesting. And yeah, so you can probably expect that sometime next week. But otherwise, thank you guys for sending us your questions. Everyone will get their CF packs, and we will see you in the next episode, and we will see you on the next live stream as well as a group. And hopefully we will have some interesting things to talk about next time as well, you know? But for now, enjoy Call of the Wild, guys. Don't forget you can you can earn those ancient foils and get your grand prize exchange it for some awesome legendary card. But thank you, and yeah.
Oh, thanks, Dimitri.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.